and that is our honor as Muslims by association. Al-Ikram wal-Jama'. The honor by association, a person finds himself or herself in a certain title, in a certain position, because he or she is associated with certain organization, a certain individual, or whatever the entity could be. For example, like if you work in the president's office, so you're known to be the chief of staff or whatever title you're given to. And when you have that title, you feel happy about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah has honored and has given this title to the Bani Adam, to the children of Adam, and has elevated his dignity and status, and has given him many bounties and favors throughout the lands and throughout the sea. So you and me are already being honored as just as a plain human being. To substantiate that and take it further, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says that فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانُ إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَهَانًا. And فَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَّمَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَكْرَمًا. He acknowledges that I am being honored and I'm being given this bounty, this favor. And this is a mere form of test that we are given these titles in our lives, in the day-to-day affairs that we are going to enjoy a certain position, and with that comes the responsibility. You and me are given the greatest handhold, the greatest honor by association, by associating ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to His Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. And who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about Himself, لَهُ الْخَلْقُ وَالْأَمْرُ تَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Everything that we possess, everything that we can think, that we feel happy about, my car, my house, my property, my children, my family, everything that you enjoy as the tangible things, that we feel like we're having ownership on it, is indeed just a short-term possession that is given to you. The ultimate affairs goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the only dominion, who is the owner of every single thing, that physical and tangible things that anybody can possess. So indeed, it's a gift Allah extends for a certain time. And to look at His Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, who was he, that we feel proud being called the ummah within the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about him, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. He is signified to us, he is identified to us having the greatest of character. As a person, not somebody who owned too much of this worldly possession, or had too many of wealth, or like the other kings have passed away, or having large family. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is introducing His Messenger to us as one who had the greatest of characters. And we as Muslims are associated with these two identities, these two entities, and that's why we are called a Muslim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. And this is the association why Allah is saying that you are elevated as the greatest, or the most selected, or the best of the nation among all the ummah that came before. And for a moment, we need to ponder here. And I just want to do a stark reality to our, in our regular lives. What is worse for you to not have a title, for you to not have a signified like position, or you are given a title and out in the public you've been snatched from your position, from your title. Which is worse? We all know that I wish I was not known to the public before being humiliated or disgraced for not doing my job, for not living up to the title that I am given to as an employee in the company, as you know, no matter, you could be a father or a brother or whatever you are. We all know that. We all know that if we fall short in our responsibilities, that is where people can look down on us. And this is exactly what I want to touch today. That the honor by association that we enjoy today, how did we get it? What made us to have this gift? And who granted this gift to us? We didn't work for it. I didn't go out and seek and take 4-year or 6-year degree to become a Muslim. Allah has given this title. And with that, as Brother Shumail said in the last khutbah, that all of us, prior to our inception, prior to this physical realm in the Ma'ash, we have taken an oath, a covenant with our Rabb. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked, Alastu bi Rabbikum? And we all said, Qalu bala. And all of them have acknowledged in positive affirmation. We have acknowledged that He is our Rabb, and He is the one who does the ultimate accountability. The ultimate muhasabah is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for us to enjoy this title of being a Muslim is not just to, do our regular affairs of attending the Eid and the Salatul Jama'ah and do our fasts and do the minimum requirements as a Muslim. There's a greater responsibility than that. We are created for a purpose. وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةً يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. Among you are the band of people who call towards goodness. Imagine any goodness that you have enjoyed, right? And we have millions of ways that we share about it. There are millions of platforms that's been created just so we can share the goodness that I enjoyed, I can share with my family and friends. What are we really doing about the identity that Allah has given as a Muslim to help others, to guide others, to see this guidance, to see this light? And this is where all of us have an obligation, a duty, and it is fardul ayn on all of us. It is to invite others to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the potential Allah has given to us. We all don't need to be scholars. We all don't need to be imams. We all don't need to be fully learned. The Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, even if you know a word, even if you know a small brief sentence, it's on you to share to others. And the contrast of that, actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the one who hides knowledge will be in the deepest of misery on the day of judgment. So you've been given this beautiful gift, and all we did is kept to ourselves. Imagine the Jennifers or the Joes and the people that we meet, our colleagues, our neighbors. There's so many people that will come in contact on a day-to-day basis. And what are they getting from us about our deen, about the notion that we are the follower of Al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam? How are they learning about our deen? By looking at us. And this is the duty that we all have to fulfill. There are numerous ways that we can do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who has a better speech? Like, imagine all kinds of talks and dealings that we have with people. Allah says the best of the speeches that you can have with anybody is to invite them to the way of Allah. And the way of Allah is not a destination, like, you saw a beautiful movie and you want to share, hey, go see this movie, or go to this, a nice vacation place, or whatever it is. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is on us to call people the way that you are on it to be associates with you. That means you share their difficulties, you share their happiness, you enjoy a moment of joy, you stand with their sorrow. You are actually, looking out for the family and the people beyond you, not just your own immediate family, but the people around you. That's the duty on every Muslim. And we have to take this message. It's no more a choice. I just want to bring some examples that's happening in our current time in the world, right? I don't know if you turn on to the news, what's happening in the eastern part of the world right now in India, where I belong to, and I grew up in a Hindu family, in fact, and over 16 years ago I became Muslim. At that point, it was a free choice for us to extend this message. And I even know in Bangalore, when I was working, people can freely go and set up these educational booths to share about Islam or whatever your faith is, with others. In today's political climate in India, you can't even identify as a Muslim. Just 2 days ago, there's a barrage of extremist Hindus go in and burn down a mosque and kill the imam of it, and then desecrate the things inside it. So there's a constant sort of like instigating happening in those every single community, to a point that you cannot even say that you're Muslim and go out with long beard as identified and go with a kufi. Just 3 or 4 days ago, a police officer inside a train is supposed to protect human lives. He goes and identifies 4 Muslim individuals with having beards in different compartments, and he shoots them down. And then he gives a hate speech. My point is that the opportunity window is coming shorter and shorter. The freedom, the blessings that we enjoy in this community right now, in this country right now, Allah will not extend it forever. I gave you an example already. 15 years ago, when I was becoming Muslim, I could walk up to these information tables and learn about Islam, learn about Christianity, learn about whatever. In today's climate, that's closed. And it's supposed to be the biggest democracy in the world with over 1 billion people. So my point, my brothers and sisters, is that we have to organize ourselves. We have to take this priority on our own shoulders. How do we live this message and share with others? أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Just to give us some action points on how we can really put these into action is, first thing that we can do is humanize yourself and not just live your own personal life, but just like the Prophet ﷺ said, that if you're cooking something, not let just the smell go to the neighbor, but extend your portion of the food and share with others. This is at the local community level that we can do with the neighbors. There are people who live in America who don't know their neighbors for 20, 30 years. It's such an individualistic life that we live in. But we as Muslims, we don't hail from our communities where we live that way. And not just that, it's an obligation of sharing with others. To a point, the Sahaba thought that the neighbors might have a sort of inheritance from our property because of such high weightage is given to us. And then on an organized level, have, just like the way Islam does, different dawah booths are done in different places. I encourage strongly that take your youth, take your children, and come with your own families to meet with your fellow non-Muslims. And I hate the term non-Muslim, but that's the common significance we all give us, because those are all not yet Muslims. That's how I see. Every single person who is not Muslim is one like me 20 years ago or 15 years ago that's just walking now. Only if you can share this beautiful, compassionate message, they will look into it. Just last week, we were right by Princeton University, and this young person, and he's probably in his 16 or 17, and he works for a nearby, a Mexican shop, a restaurant. And he listens to us for a careful 20 minutes. And he utters the Shahada in English and the Arabic, and he finds it so touching to himself. That how come I never heard about it? How do I not see about this message? None of the media is going to tell and give dawah about Islam. It's on you and me. And all we can do is organize ourselves. We have so much of potential. There are a few brothers like in a drop in the ocean doing some work, but we can support them. We can take this mission by helping them by financially, and most importantly, by being there. Imagine a non-Muslim who passes by, and then you extend a greeting, a smile, and introduce yourself as a Muslim. Your child, for example, the brother who came just 2 days ago, he was making free lemonade and offering to people. And you need to see the kind of joy people see. The youngsters prepare this and giving it for others. This is a shared love. This is a shared kind of happiness that you want to share with others. So my brothers and sisters, this is enough to talk about it. But we're planning on to have our own dawah department right here in our own masjid, so that we can take it and invite others to our masjid and share with others, share a meal. And we can have open houses and take this information and share with others. Please join us as we have different workshops. And these dawah booths as go on, please come talk to one of us how we can be a part of it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala utilize us and not replace us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this ikram, but He can also replace us. If we are not doing the job, Allah is not shy from replacing us and bringing a different community to do His work. Like Umar radiallahu anh says, we are given this ikram, the honor, by associating, by Islam, by the affiliation to Islam. If you leave Islam, if you are shy about Islam, if you're shy about identity, then there is only misery awaits. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not feel shy from replacing a qawm. He has so many examples in the Quran. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم أقيموا الصلاة.